Valerie, do you want to use the microphone?
Oh,
And turn it on.
everyone hear that okay? I think they got me.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank
cool.
you. Like up against the fence over there? I think.
If you're up against the fence, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
But if you're parked on the street itself,
Okay. Yeah, because they don't go through. Yeah, sorry, we've been
No,
moving
it's
things,
okay.
but hopefully it's
No,
still.
you're just fine. I was actually just going to restart my recording.
Okay.
You coming to play softball this year?
I don't know. I don't have to.
So they're gonna have us speakers. Not everyone's gonna be buying it.
Can I get anyone that's parked on Beach Street, which is a street right here north of us? If you're parked on Beach Street, to please remove your vehicle.
fuck you.
Okay, if you give out a ticket, there's going to be consequences. If you're parked on the roadway, you're obstructing traffic on Beach Street. Your vehicles will be subject for towing. Please
Read
remove
the
your vehicle.
fucking
Thank
room,
you.
dipshit.
Get out!
Read the
Move
fucking
out
room.
now!
Who are you
I'm giving you a lawful order. Move out. Move the vehicle. You're blocking my view. I'm giving you a lawful order. Get the fuck out of here, BV.
So, I think we should have
Subject to my veto.
whoever's speaking, and then you come up one by one. Because otherwise, this is a bit of a
Citizens
and
are
then we'll
coming in
backtrack.
hot.
So I think everyone who's speaking should be
Can't get out of the car. Gotta make the announcement out of the car.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. All right. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming out and being present today. I'm Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison, and first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who helped bring attention to this on Friday evening, which ultimately culminated in Sonny's release. Present on Friday evening, we had Kat Agabuzudale, Reed Showalter. Sorry if I butchered that. I tried my best. I got closer than others. We have Sonny's sister here present who's going to be speaking as well. And other individuals who were present were Demi Palasek and Dylan Blaha. I want to thank first and foremost everyone for leveraging their platforms to bring more attention. We're going to begin today. I'm going to speak. I'm going to hand it over to the attorney. Sonny's sister is going to speak, and then a couple of the other folks who were present. But first and foremost, we need to bring clarity to what occurred. Now, Sonny is actually my best friend's younger sister. She's 28 years old. She was detained for 30 hours, and that's just completely unacceptable. But before I begin with my speaking, I do want to mention we have a few elected officials present today. We've got a school board member, Bushra Amiwala of School District 73.5. We have Laura Fine, State Senator of District 9, and Evanston's Mayor Daniel Biss. Again, I'm Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison. I learned about what was occurring Friday morning at around 9:39. At that point, Sonny, a U.S. citizen born in Evanston, had already been detained for 23 hours at O'Hare International Airport. She was calm. They were trying to get information from her employer. She was on a work trip with 5 other employees, 2 other U.S. citizens, and 3 green card holders. All 6 are incredibly shaken in this moment, understandably so. At around 3:52 is when we lost communication with her. She had her cell phone on her. She was able to speak with family and friends. I spoke with her around 1:30 on Friday. And then about an hour later, her phone started pinging right behind me at the Broadview ICE detention facility. I had been communicating throughout the day with immigration attorneys, with congressional offices. I want to thank Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy and Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky for their team's work in trying to get clarity of what was occurring. All throughout, they denied that she was detained. We had present here both Broadview and Cook County Sheriff's Police who ICE directly lied to their faces, saying that no woman had ever been brought to this facility, nor had been detained. They lied throughout. I had been in communication with an immigration attorney who was in direct contact with someone at the U.S. Attorney General's office. They asked for Sonny's phone number so they could search the facility for her phone. About 10 minutes later, the phone opened, text messages were read, and the phone was turned off, and we lost her location. Around 20 minutes later, they allowed 2 Cook County Sheriff's Police entry to show them empty cells. It is our belief that it was during that time that they began moving the 6 individuals from Broadview to an immigration facility in Wisconsin. That's 3 U.S. citizens that were moved across state lines. Now, at around almost 3 in the morning is when Sonny was finally released. They just let her out the door. She ended up having to hitchhike to find safe refuge at a location where her sister, friends, and family ultimately picked her up. Now, today is the beginning of International Women's Month. And this is a 28-year-old girl who was just left on the street by ICE in another state without her property. She still, as of right now, does not have her passport back. Shame is right. Now, I am incredibly outraged. As a county commissioner, I've taken leadership to stand up for our due process and habeas corpus rights, which are not just shared with United States citizens. They're shared with every resident that resides in this nation. We passed a resolution trying to hold ICE accountable, calling for them to be unmasked, to wear body-worn camera, to only detain individuals when they have a lawful warrant to do so. What occurred on Thursday and Friday was a U.S. citizen detained with no cause. All she was told was that there was some, curious travel history, but they had no cause to detain her for those 30 hours and definitely no cause to move her to an immigration facility, a U.S. citizen born in the United States of America out of Evanston, Illinois. We are working continuously with congressional offices to get more information. They continue to deny that she was ever detained, which is just outrageous. We need this administration, for one, to take ownership of what they did, to provide accurate information on why she was detained, and why a U.S. citizen ever was placed in an immigration facility and moved across state lines. So we need transparency, we need accountability, and we need to make sure that we are incredibly mindful of the steps we must take as a nation to protect all of our civil rights and civil liberties. It is outrageous that we even have to be standing here in this moment. Again, this is my best friend's younger sister, Sunny Naqvi, 28 years old, detained for 30 hours at O'Hare, moved to Broadview's immigration facility, and then moved across state lines to an immigration facility in Wisconsin. The fact that this could happen to any U.S. citizen should terrify us all. It demands us all pushing back and reaching out to our federal leaders to further move forward the transparency that is needed in this moment. And it is my hope that this never happens again. And with that, I would like to introduce Sunny Naqvi's attorney, Rob Held.
70,000 people are being incarcerated right now as we speak in detention facilities around the country. Millions of communities and neighborhoods are being terrorized and traumatized by ICE. Sunny asked me to speak today not about herself, but about others. We have anecdotal information about the human rights abuses that is going on around the nation, including at the facility behind me, where Judge Robert Gettleman recently found that this was a human rights disaster. He issued a temporary restraining order with respect to this facility. At other facilities, detainees are not getting enough food. They're not getting proper medical treatment. They are dying in ICE custody. One of them, Geraldo Lunas Campos, was strangled by guards. ICE initially was silent about his death. When ICE did speak about his death, they said he was in medical distress. A coroner found that his death was a homicide. That was at Camp East Montana in El Paso, Texas, a place that I was recently banned from going inside of. But this is what's happening around the country. And the neighborhoods and communities that are being traumatized and terrorized are taking the brunt of this administration's racist policies. This reign of terror will end one day. Those responsible will be held to account. There must be transparency and accountability. And everybody out here is to be thanked for your commitment. Everyone with a conscience must stay up. Everyone with a conscience must speak up. One day this will end. We have the biometric data for those that are acting on behalf of the administration. There will be an accounting one day, and there will be justice. Thank you.
Now, before I invite up the next guest again, as I have mentioned, Sunny is still incredibly shaken by what she has undergone. My best friend, Sarah Afzal, my high school best friend, this was her younger sister. It terrifies me. Thank God she reached out to me, and no one should need to have an elected official have to further someone's voice when their constitutional rights are being impeded on. I'm glad I was able to help in this moment, and I just want to share a message out there. If any of your family loved ones are dealing with situations like this, reach out to your local officials so they can push it up the chain and try to get you assistance. And with that, I would like to invite up Sarah Afzal.
My sister, she was struggling today. We were late to get here, and she's about 5 minutes away. It was really hard for her. I think it was hitting her today that what was happening. She hadn't slept in like 3 days before that. She hadn't showered in days, like 3 days. Her first shower was actually today, and she was able to eat some food. I think it was finally hitting her what actually happened. And we were trying to get out the door for a while, and she was kind of immobilized. And I was trying to be there for her. I was like, hey, I love you. How can I help you? Let me know. And I told her I can leave without her if she wants. And she's with her boyfriend right now. They're almost here. She was able to kind of get it together. This whole morning was about just kind of getting it together. She doesn't want this to be about her. This is about everyone that is illegally detained. This is more than her, and she does not want, I think she doesn't want attention. It doesn't want this to be about her at all. And it was just a really scary time, and I think that it's really scary to know that this could happen to someone born here. I wasn't born here, so she's actually more scared that this could have happened to me, because I could have, I am a U.S. citizen, but she's scared that there's other people that are being impacted and being disappeared, basically. We were told that we kept being lied to our faces. We were told that she wasn't here. We saw her location on smack dab in the middle of the facility. We saw her location in Wisconsin in the middle of the facility. The cops were lying to our faces. They were saying, we were asking them, hey, her location is here. We were in contact with her, and they kept being like, I don't know what to tell you. So it's just a really scary time, and I really appreciate everyone's support and love, because I think that's what helped get her out and get released, and the others as well.
And I hope I don't butcher the name again. I do want to thank both Kat and Reed for using their platforms to help leverage the situation. And with that, I'm introducing Kat Abu Ghazaleh. Is that better?
You did it perfectly.
I want to thank everyone for being here on short notice. For those who have covered Broadview before, usually these protests and press conferences are done on a Friday morning. And here we are on a Sunday, shortly after the location of Sunny and the 5 others who were kidnapped. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And what I really want to stress today is this is an escalation. Just because they were found and they were brought home does not mean that this isn't an escalation. We can't mince words here. We are standing in front of a concentration camp. This is where our neighbors are taken when they are kidnapped, where they are held with almost no food or water, where there are so many crammed into a cell that they sleep standing up, where they are intimidated into signing their own self-deportations. This, the Broadview Processing Center, is where Sunny and 5 others, 2 other citizens and 3 green card holders, were taken just the other day. And thankfully, they are home now. But once again, that doesn't mean this is an escalation. They were only brought home after their families and our community refused to back down and kept asking for answers. Despite CBP lying over and over and over again, obfuscating the truth, where Sunny was or if they'd even seen her in the first place. And when she was finally found, it was in a different state, not even at an ICE facility, but in the middle of nowhere 9 miles away. We saw this in Minnesota too, taking people and dropping them off wherever, but the transportation of someone over state lines, the detention of American citizens and permanent residents at an airport for 30 hours, this is going to be the new normal if we don't stand up against it. That's why I'm so grateful for Sunny and her family's courage, particularly recognizing how many people are at risk here and how many people who we will never know their names. We know the name of Sunny. We know and honor people like Silverio, like Keith, like Renee and Alex, like Geraldo.
But there are so many that are being disappeared and they have no one to advocate for them. Where are our leaders? Where are they every single day? Where were they Friday? Abolition and prosecution of ICE is the moderate position and is where every single leader in our country should be going. We deserve justice, we deserve trials, we deserve restitution. We deserve to know that we, the people, are not alone, because cowardice and appeasement will only bring more escalation. None of that can happen overnight, but it's the baseline of humanity. And in the meantime, we can fight for answers. We're grateful to you and your family. We're grateful that your sister is home. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll all fight alongside you.
There's a car from Prospect Pike that's going to be towed back.
Excuse me.
We have a car here from Prospect Pike on Naqvi. Please go get it. Call them call.
Yeah, a blue car with a Prospect parking sticker on it is parked where they're going to tow it. The cars in front of it got towed already. So if you have a blue car with Prospect stickers, please move your car on the other side of 25th Street.
And with that, I would like to introduce Pete Showalter.
Ethan, did you move our car?
Protect cars, everyone. We can't find a U.S. citizen, but we can apparently tow everyone's cars.
Yeah, we're good at that.
My name is Reed Showalter. I'm a former DOJ attorney. I left the Department of Justice in this Trump administration for obvious reasons. Over the last several months, we've watched ICE and CBP descend into lawlessness and chaos. I've been at Broadview as an attorney and a legal observer with all of you. But Pat is right. What we've watched over the last several days is an escalation. On Friday, I got a call from my friend Kevin Morrison that his childhood friend Sonny had been detained for nearly 30 hours at the airport. Citizen, she was detained with 5 of her colleagues. And we had no idea what to do. Because ICE and CBP have been disappearing people off the streets for months now. This time was somewhat different. We had evidence of where Sonny was. To lead it. But to those of you who have covered this in the past, we know that plenty of people continue to disappear and their families are left with no leads to where they are. We came up and talked with agents and cops who said, we have no idea where Sonny is. And when the system of law enforcement breaks down, when we have no idea where the people who are wrapped up in the system are put, all of that burden falls on us. Why? Why is it that every step we take away from our legal system, the burden to correct it falls on all of us? We walk up, we know that Sonny is being held in this facility. And it's not ICE agents' jobs to prove that they have a right to keep her. It's not CBP's job to return her. It is our job somehow to find out where she is. It's our job to get the word out to all of you, to every politician in Illinois, to enforcers, and our job as a community to carry that when they are the ones breaking the law. ICE and CBP roll through our towns, they kidnap our neighbors, they kill them, and it's our job to provide accountability. That is ridiculous. We keep us safe, we know that. And I am so proud that all of you are here. I'm so proud to be standing with you all. I'm so proud of Sonny's family and people here who have done this work, but we shouldn't have to. Why are we here? This is not different. The difference right now is that Sonny's family happens to know several people here. But there are dozens of people every day. There are thousands of people. There are tens of thousands of people whose families are missing their loved ones. Or disappeared for days on end. People who are lawful residents and citizens who were held against their wills, where there was no legal authority for them to be held. And this is a failure, too, of our leadership. Where were the elected leaders for Broadview? Where were the elected leaders for this district, for this state? We were thankful for the help of the few people we were able to get on the phone, but it is shocking and alarming how few of them were here to make sure that our neighbors were not being kidnapped. We have a message, not just to Donald Trump, but to the wider establishment that keeps letting this happen. We are here. We will not stop fighting, and we will win.
Thank you, Reed, and thanks again to everyone who showed up on Friday evening to help bring more attention to this story, to the plight of both Sunny Naqvi and 5 other individuals. This can never happen again. It demands us all pushing back in this moment, and with that, I would like to open up the floor for questions, but again, we had almost 100 people show up last minute, late at night on Friday evening, to raise hell, to make sure they release Sunny and her coworkers. And we succeeded. So I want to thank everyone for showing up and pushing this message out there, but it is clear. It is clear we need to do more. We need better actions from our congressional leadership, and we need to make sure ICE is held fully accountable. We need investigations, transparency, and every illegal action that is transpired by ICE needs to see full justice in our legal system. And with that, I would like to open it up for questions. Thank you.
Sunny's colleagues that were also detained, are they comfortable with their names being shared? Do they want that kept out of the public life?
That is an ongoing conversation, but at this moment, I am respecting the privacy of the 5 other individuals who were detained.
They've been released?
All of them were released at differing times from the same Wisconsin facility in the early morning hours of Saturday morning.
Was that a private prison they were held in?
It was the Dodge County ICE detention facility, another immigration detention facility.
From Sunny's account, when they were detaining them at O'Hare, did they ever give a reason for why they were being detained?
What I was told is they said there were questions about Sunny's travel history.
Do you know what that included? Anything
The
recent?
travel history was a planned trip to India, which did not go, and instead the stops were Turkey, Bulgaria, and Austria.
And she was born and raised in Evanston?
Born in Evanston, raised in Hoffman Estates in Skokie.
Do we know why that trip didn't happen to India?
Yes. Traveling on this work trip, they were all of Pakistani descent, 3 U.S. citizens, 3 green card holders with Pakistani passports. On arrival in Istanbul, the 3 Pakistani passport holders were not allowed to board the flight to India. And because of that, the work notified them that the 6 of them were free to use the 3 weeks as they wished, in which they all separated, traveled, some visited families, some toured around Europe, and they returned to Istanbul for their return flight home. The last time I spoke with CBP was while I was present here on Friday evening, where their story continued to change. At one point, they were saying that she was detained until 11:48 p.m. Thursday evening, and then on my last call, they tried saying that she was never detained at all.
The question was, has anyone been in touch with ICE or CBP? I've been in touch multiple times with the chief of CBP at O'Hare, and also with the individuals at ICE in the detention center behind me, and also with the Dodge County facility as well. CBP has stated multiple times that Sonny was detained for, quote, 2 minutes. I called this morning to ask if they wanted to amend their statement. I was referred to Public Affairs. I called Public Affairs and left a voicemail which has not been returned. The facility behind me stated on multiple times, and I spoke to ICE, not just the guards, but that ICE said that Sonny has never been in this facility. I asked them repeatedly if they wanted to clarify that, including in the wee hours and early Saturday morning. They said they have no change in their statement that Sonny has never been in this facility. The Dodge County facility I spoke to at length, Dodge County said that there was no women there, that Sonny was not there, and Sonny has not been there.
Sir, can you explain some of the conditions she experienced here or in Wisconsin? Was she in a room with many others? Did she get fed?
It is my belief that they were separated, but I can't say that for certain. We do know that when she arrived at Broadview, she had her phone at the very beginning and was able to get a text message out to friends. That was around 5:30, and it stated that she believes that she had been moved to an ICE detention facility. And it came from Broadview, where her phone was pinging within the ICE immigration facility in Broadview.
Was that 5:30 on Thursday?
That was 5:30 on Friday evening when she was moved from O'Hare to Broadview on Friday evening. And our belief is that somewhere around 8:10, when we lost her location, was when they began moving her to Dodge County, Wisconsin.
Where was she at O'Hare? Do we know where they were put there?
Her location was the same. Again, she shares it with family and friends. It was in Terminal 3 at the security checkpoint, lower level, for 30 hours.
Where did her family pick her up in Wisconsin?
I believe it was at a hotel.
Holiday Inn.
At a Holiday Inn. Okay, didn't want to state the wrong one. She had been dropped off at a Holiday Inn 9 miles away from the ICE facility. She had hitchhiked a ride with a kind woman who took her to the Hilton to seek refuge.
What possessions do they still have of hers?
As of right now, I know they have her U.S. passport, I believe.
I just called this morning to get the passport back. When I spoke to the chief of CBP at O'Hare, and I asked how I can get the passport back, can I get it back this morning? He referred me to Public Affairs. I repeated, you want me to talk to Public Affairs to get her passport back? And he said, you have to talk to Public Affairs.
I do know that one of the detained who was released as well from the Dodge facility in Wisconsin went to O'Hare to pick up their belongings and brought Sonny's belongings to her in the afternoon yesterday. I was fortunate to be able to see Sonny, and I can't believe the impact this is having on her and her entire family and all our loved ones. Yes.
To clarify, she was released from the facility in Wisconsin, not at the Hilton or at the hotel, but someone else gave her a ride. Do you know where specifically, like, ICE or CBP, like, actually released her physically? Repeat the question. Well, they can't hear the question.
Oh, could you ask the question a little loud, or repeat the question? Okay. The question was she brought by ICE to the Hilton, or what had occurred? It is my understanding she was provided zero paperwork, not asked to sign anything, was allowed outside the ICE facility, where she walked and ultimately found the woman who drove her to the Hilton. At almost 3 in the morning. That is correct.
It was 5
5 in the morning. At 5 in the morning is when she was released.
And then she was picked up at 7:30.
We were there at 5 a.m. and asking for her release because we were getting communication from her that she was getting released from her phone while the phone was still in the detention center in Wisconsin. And we got there for her release because the phone died. And they were like, we're not releasing anyone today. We don't hold any female detainees.
There are no females here. No one's getting released. We don't know what you're talking about. The cops were smiling. They kind of laughed, and we knew they were lying. And we know she was there because we kept showing the location. It was right in the middle of the facility. And they were like, we don't know what to tell you. And then we got a phone call while we're standing in the place that she had walked to the gas station nearby at 5 a.m. with her phone dead. And she walked there, she got a ride from some random lady, and we had a location because we knew her phone was dying to meet at the Holiday Inn. So the lady drove her there. It's the middle of nowhere, really dark out. So it was really scary to be like just trusting a stranger in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, to meet up with your family. But we were able to find her. And even when I was getting those messages, I was like, I don't believe anything until I actually see her. So when I saw her, I was like, I can finally fucking breathe. Sorry for that.
Yes. Well, so we were in communication. There was the county sheriff's police present here. So what police were we interacting with that evening? I know that me personally, I spoke with the county sheriff's police that were present, as well as Broadview police officers. They all went to the door and were continuously lied to by ICE agents within. I know that I had communicated with other rapid response teams, and that they were calling other police stations to see if she had been dropped off there, local hospitals. We had people canvassing parks where individuals had been dropped off by ICE.
I know you said this has been an emotional past few days for her. Is she coming here? Can she recount her story at all?
She's here right now. She just doesn't want to be. She doesn't want the spotlight on her. This is about everybody. She's just trying to process everything. She's just, she kind of just wants this to be about the bigger picture right now. But if there's any questions that anybody has, I can help answer them, or Kevin, or her lawyer.
So this is essentially about the bigger process. What we're seeing here is an escalation, as you mentioned. What we're seeing here is evidence of a concentration camp. What we're seeing here is a government that is almost as oppressive as the Hitler government. And we're seeing ICE as the Gestapo. And we're seeing propaganda where information is being concealed. And information is being coded in a way where it is not true. My question to you is for our next steps, how do we escalate? I get that we can sort of speak to our representatives, and I appreciate being able to put this conference together today. But what is intended as an escalation strategy here beyond holding people accountable? What is the plan?
So the question is, what's the plan? How do we escalate this further? Well, first and foremost, we're hosting today's press conference to provide more information. For one, I am so relieved that I got to see Sunny yesterday and that she's safe and as best as she can be in this moment. That all individuals are ultimately released. But how many individuals, don't have contact with, a close family friend, a person like myself, who also responded and took action and reached out to congressional leaders, who reached out to CBP, who reached out to immigration attorneys to try to get more clarity. So in terms of next steps, I think it is imperative of all of us to continue uplifting this story of what occurred right here to 3 U.S. citizens on U.S. soil whose due process and habeas corpus rights were non-existent, who were not given cause for their detention, and who were removed to 2 different immigration facilities. Immigration facilities when they are not immigrants. She was born in the United States of America. So for one, elevating this story is first and foremost. Talking to our federal elected officials, demanding that all of our Congress members, no matter what party they are, push back in this moment to get full information released on why they were detained, why we were continuously lied to, and what steps they're gonna take to ensure this never happens again.
I think that's it, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Just one last question. Is there any kind of litigation being considered against DHS, CBP, ICE to try and force the production of those materials in court?
You know, those are considered next steps. I can't answer that question at this moment. The question is whether or not there will be potential lawsuits. You know, if this situation occurred to me, I could tell you I would be using the full force of the law to be made whole. But at this moment, I think all the detained are recovering and taking care of their own mental health and reconvening with their family and loved ones. So that's all I can say in this moment. And I thank you all for coming out here and helping uplift Sunny and her 5 coworkers' stories. But it is true that we must continue pushing back in this moment. We need Congress to call for hearings. We need accountability. We need transparency. We need real records and information provided of what occurred to these 6 individuals on Thursday. And I will continue providing updates as we are informed of more information. I know that many congressional leaders are making demands to try to get answers, and we will provide that once we have it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.